Hey, what's going on everyone? Nick here with HN Entertainment's review for Joker, which is the first movie in DC and Warner Brothers' new black label of DC films, which are taking existing and prominent characters from their library and letting filmmakers do their own version of the character outside of regular continuity. Now, Joker is directed by Todd Phillips and stars Joaquin Phoenix, Zazie Beetz, Francis Conroy, and Robert De Niro, among others. The film centers on Phoenix's Arthur Fleck, a man who works as a clown and is a failed stand-up comedian who has tons of problems going on in his life. He's vying for the attention of his neighbor, Sophie Dumond, played by Zazie Beetz, while caring for his elderly mother, all the while fantasizing over appearing on his favorite talk show hosted by Robert De Niro's character, Murray Franklin. This all takes place in a very seedy, grimy, ugly version of Gotham City, set sometime in the early 1980s. And as for my impressions of the film, I'm kind of mixed on it. I saw it last night. I'm still in that phase where I'm sort of trying to process what I've seen. I'll probably have to see it again just to kind of, analyze it more. But I did like elements of it, but there was definitely things that I found that were issues with the film, and I think that some of the messages within the film and some of the ways they chose to portray Arthur and his kind of struggle and I guess different characters within the film could potentially be dangerous for people who watch it. Now, as for Joaquin Phoenix's Arthur Fleck, who eventually does become the Joker as this is his origin movie, I thought he did a fantastic job. His version of the character is very different than anything we've seen thus far, even very different from Heath Ledger's version of the Joker, which people thought that he kind of looked a bit similar to, I guess, just because of his hair and general outfit. But Phoenix's Joker is much more, I guess, chaotic and cheerful, while other versions of the character have been more kind of serious and calculating. It isn't up until the very third act, though, where we see Phoenix fully become the Joker. Most of the movie is just kind of watching his downward spiral as things just go from bad to worse to even worse than that. I thought the supporting cast actually did a pretty good job. There's people that show up in this movie like Mark Maron and Brian Tyree Henry, even for like a scene or two, that actually do a pretty good job as well, but the main players are mostly Zazie Beetz, Phoenix, his mother Francis Conroy, and Robert De Niro, with small appearances from Brett Cullen, who plays this version of Thomas Wayne. I think some of my main problems with the film are the storyline and the overall kind of message and themes of the film with regards to mental health and how society can push someone over the edge and make them do horrible things. The movie is beautifully made, and on a technical level, everything looks pretty sharp and polished. It's got great cinematography, it's got a pretty haunting score to it, but ultimately it feels like someone who's kind of trying to imitate films like Taxi Driver or The King of Comedy, films that have similar storylines but are just executed much better. This movie is executed with the subtlety of a sledgehammer, where everything kind of just hits you in the face. It's so over the top, so on the nose with its dialogue and messages that I feel like it could just be very problematic overall. And that's basically where the bulk of my negatives with the film lie. I think the script could have definitely been better, but Joaquin Phoenix's performance is just so captivating and so enthralling that you just can't help but want to focus on him whenever he's up on the screen. My final thoughts, I would say that if you're interested in seeing the film, go check it out because, with these kind of movies that are sure to be controversial and divisive, I think everyone owes it to themselves to at least check it out and see what they think of it. But as for my thoughts, I didn't really like it overall too much. There were elements that I liked, but as a whole it just really didn't come together for me. But I think if you're fans of the Joker character, if you're fans of Joaquin Phoenix, you'll definitely get something out of this movie. If you have seen Joker, let me know what you guys thought of it down in the comments below. Let's try to keep it as spoiler-free as possible though. And for more movie reviews and the latest on everything in pop culture, be sure to subscribe to HN Entertainment.